Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the energy conservation at industries, household and commercial sector. This bit is from unit number 8, energy audit and energy conservation. I am Professor Yashpal Khedkar. Welcome you in this video lecture. The syllabus which we will have to discuss related with the energy conservation is energy conservation, its introduction, Energy Conservation Act 2001 and its feature, and energy conservation in industries, chemical, cement and sugar industry, and energy conservation in household and commercial sectors. Out of this bit, the Energy Conservation Introduction and Energy Conservation Act and its feature we have covered in the previous lecture. Today we are going to concentrate on energy conservation in industries and in household and commercial sectors. We will have to conserve the energy at various level because we are using the energy at different levels at different places. We will have to concentrate on energy conservation in industry and other places related with it, energy conservation at household level and energy conservation at commercial level. The energy conservation in a transportation sector is also one of the level which we need to take into consideration during this study. So, especially when we are going to discuss the first point, energy conservation in industry, we need to think about chemical industry, cement industry as well as the sugar industry. One thing we will have to keep in mind, all these three industries which are enlisted here are the process industries. Means we are taking some raw material and we are processing with the help of different equipments, instruments and machineries, and then we are preparing the final product in all these three types of the industry. First of all, we will concentrate on chemical industry. Chemical industry in India is highly diversified. It is covering more than 80,000 commercial products which we are using in our day-to-day life. This chemical industry is broadly classified into bulk chemicals, specialty chemicals, agrochemicals, petrochemicals, polymers and fertilizer sector. It has projected to reach 304 billion by 2025. India ranks 14th export and 8th in import of the chemicals, excluding pharmaceutical products globally. So here that's why the chemical industry is one of the biggest industry because it is related with the direct growth in the sector of the business, because we can see that it ranks 14th in export and 8th in import. So as far as importing and exporting business is also going to be concerned, the chemical industry plays a vital role in that. So that's why we need to take such chemical industry into consideration during energy conservation. The next industry is the cement industry. India is the 4th largest producer of the cement in the world. The energy cost making up as much as 40% of total manufacturing cost. So this is one of the important reason to save the power, because whatever manufacturing cost of the cement is there, then 40% of that cost we are spending on its energy use. Means if 100 rupees cement suppose we have manufactured, then 40 rupees we are investing as a energy cost of that 100 rupees cement. And that's why if we will be able to save the energy in this manufacturing of the cement, then definitely energy cost is going to be get reduced and it will add in the profit, and that's why there is a need to save more energy at such a cement industries power plants. Now the third industry is the sugar industry. These sugar industries are more in numbers in our region, in our area. India is the world's largest producer of sugarcane and second largest producer of sugar after the Cuba. But India become the largest producer if gur and khandsari sugar are also included in that. This industry involves a total capital investment of 1250 crores and provides employment to the 2.86 lakh workers. So this sugar industry is very broad, it very large in our India, and that's why we have chosen chemical, cement as well as sugar industry for the study of the energy conservation at industries. First of all, we will see what is actually the energy conservation. The definition of energy conservation is: energy conservation is the practice of decreasing the quantity of energy used for the same quality and quantity of output. It means we will have to decrease the quantity of the electricity utilized to produce the product of the same quality and the quantity with some of the provisions. It may be achieved through efficient energy use, in which case energy use is decreased while achieving a similar outcome, or by reduced consumption of energy services. Means we will have to take the energy management into consideration in the process. The first part is energy conservation, second part is energy efficiency, and third, by using the renewable energy we can manage the energy and we can conserve also the energy. So the first part in that energy management system is energy conservation. This energy conservation includes any behavior or act or practice that result in the use of less energy, means less electrical energy or heat energy. It will focus on behavior of the people. People should act, people should practice such a process through which we can save the energy. For example, one example is using daylight through window rather than turning on the lights. For example, if we can construct the windows at the proper place, then during daytime there will not be a requirement of any electrical light we need to apply. So that particular simple act or simple care if we will take during the construction, then definitely we can save the light during the daytime. So such kind of the practice or the process or the behavior we need to follow, we need to take into consideration. In this energy conservation process, it has been mentioned that we will have to use the energy in an efficient way. It means what? We will have to involve the use of technology that require less energy to perform the same function. It will focus on equipment or machinery being used. So one example is installing LED light bulbs for the street light. Here we need the light during night time. If instead of the bulbs or the tubes, if we will put up the LED lights, then definitely it will consume the less energy, but we will get more output. It means by consuming less input, if we are in a position to get the required output, the efficiency will be higher, and that efficient energy use can help to conserve the energy. And third part in the process is use of renewable energy. Renewable energy and what is non-renewable energy, that part we have already studied, but renewable energy is the energy obtained from the sources that are essential inexhaustible. So such kind of the inexhaustible sources we can use. It will focuses on the resources such as wind, solar, geothermal, and its one example is installing solar power plant. So this solar power plant can produce the electricity by using the solar radiation during the daytime, and it can be utilized for some of the equipments directly. For example, street lights, to run the ACs, to run the place heating system, to heat the water. And if we can use solar power for to satisfy all such kind of the needs of the process, then definitely we can conserve the energy. In industry, we are using the different industrial equipment. So industrial sector use both the thermal and electrical energy in various equipments. It means in cement industry, chemical industry, as well as sugar industry, the thermal and electrical energy, the both energies are utilized. In these various equipments which are used to produce the thermal or electrical energies are boiler, compressor, furnaces, diesel generating engines, motors, pump, and refrigeration and air conditioning, etc. So if we will save the energy at these during the use of these kind of the equipment which are mentioned in this slide, then definitely we can conserve the energy. Now almost in all three industries which we have mentioned here, they are using these all equipments, so that we are going to study the energy conservation in such kind of the equipments. But that process will be of three-stage process, which are named as stage A, stage B, and stage 3, and stage A, stage B, and stage C. And at each and every stage we are going to discuss the conservation of the energy in the industrial sector. First of all, we will concentrate on electrical energy saving, that is A part. Here there are some of the tips for electrical energy saving. Number 1, improve the power factor by installing the capacitor. Number 2, avoid repeated rewinding of the motors. Number 3, use of variable frequency drives and fluid couplings for variable speed and application such as fans, pumps, etc., which will help in minimizing the consumption of the electricity. It means we will have to first of all improve the power factor, and number 2, the equipments which are continuously moving with the different variable speed like fans or like pumps, so we will have to use the variable frequency drives. Frequency drives, it means it can control the speed, and whenever whatever optimum speed is required, we can set that particular drive, and through that we can get the variations in the speed. For example, we can put the regulator to the fan, we can put different kind of the phase system to the pumps. So by adjusting to that particular frequency, we can control the speed. In that, first of all, we will concentrate on electric motors. The electric motors are used to provide the motive power to equipment such as compressor, pumps, blowers, etc. The motor should be energy efficient. It means it should take less input and it should provide the maximum output. The electric motor should convert delta to star connection for lightly loaded motors. So this small improvement can save more energy. We will have to install the variable voltage frequency drive for speed control of motors. That part we have already discussed in the previous slide. So we can provide the regulators to control this particular speed, and we can install the multi-speed motor instead of providing the regulators also. We can save the energy or the electricity by using this any of these particular two methods. Multi-speed motors are having the capacity to run with the different kind of the speed frequency. So we can install it, or we can put the regulator system to control the variable voltage frequency in case of the motors. Again, in electric motor, we will have to take care that we will have to avoid the frequent rewinding of the motors. Greater the number of rewinding, then there will be less efficiency we will get. So to carry out the preventive maintenance and condition and monitoring the schedule of such a preventive maintenance and condition is also very much important factor in the energy conservation related with the electric motors. There are some of the advantages if we will replace the simple motor by energy efficient motor, and that advantage number one is it will reduce operating cost and higher purchase price investment pays off. It will have less heat losses, and number three, it has extended winding lifespan. So there will not be any kind of the need to change the winding again and again, so that we can save energy in the electric motor by using the energy efficient motors instead of simple one. Second equipment which we are running with the help of the electrical energy, and that is nothing but the air compressor. Compressed air is used in almost all type of the industries and accounts for the major share of electricity is used in some of the plants on this compression system only. The compressed air is a very energy intensive. Only 5% of electric energy is converted to the useful energy. So remaining energy is definitely going to be waste. So use of compressed air for cleaning is rarely justified. So compressed air should be used whenever it is necessary. If it is not at all necessary, then there is no need to install and run air compressors at the field. We will have to ensure that low temperature of inlet air at the air compressor, because increase in inlet layer temperature by 3 degrees centigrade increases the power consumption by 1%. So instead of providing hot air at the inlet of the air compressor, we will have to take care that air should be having quite low temperature than the higher one. So such a small change in the behavior, in the process or in the act, it can save the energy consumption, and which will be very large one. The third important equipment which is utilized in the industry with the help of electrical energy is nothing but the cooling tower. A cooling tower is a specialized heat exchanger in which two fluids, that is air and water, are brought into direct contact with each other to effect the transfer of heat. So, the replacement of inefficient aluminum or fabricated steel fans by molded FRP fans with the aerofoil design result in electricity saving in the range of 15 to 40%. It means instead of using the simple fans made up of the aluminum or the fabricated steel, we will have to use the molded FRP fans with the aerofoil design that can save 15 to 40% of the electrical energy. We need to install automatic on-off switching of cooling tower fans, and also we can save up to 40% of electricity cost. It means if we will able to get the sufficient cooling temperature, then in that condition the fans, cooling tower fans should be switched off automatically, and when the temperature will again start raising and it will go or it will reach to the limit or it will go beyond limit, then once again such kind of the cooling tower fans should be come into action and it should be get on. Such kind of the automatic system we can install with the help of the simple sensors, and we can save once again the 40% electricity. One of the very much important equipments in the industrial sector is nothing but the pumps. Most of the industrial process in and out of the plants involve transportation of the fluid. It may be the steam, it may be the water or any another fluid in the form of the chemicals, and the pump is the only mechanical means available to facilitate this transportation. Means we can transport the fluid by use of pumps only. The prime mover can either be an electrical motor or a diesel engine or a steam or gas turbine. It means the prime mover which will move the pumps, which can give the rotation to the shaft of the pump, may be the electrical energy or diesel engine or steam or gas turbine. All prime movers consume energy either in the form of electrical power or by using the precious petroleum products like a diesel, oil or the gas to impart working capacity of the pump. So, we can save the electricity by following the given inputs efficiently. We can select a pump of the right capacity in accordance with the requirement. So, if our capacity is low, if we require less fluid to pump, then no need to install the pump with the larger capacity over there. The improper selection of pump can lead large wastage of energy. A pump with the 85% efficiency at the rated flow may have only 65% efficiency at half the flow. So, if flow is going to be get decreased, then efficiency is also going to be get reduced. That particular thing we will have to take into consideration, and we will have to select the pump according to the capacity, right capacity in accordance with the requirement of the pumping the fluid. The matching of motor with the appropriate size pump is also one of the important factor. So, we will have to take the capacity of the pump into consideration, and according to that only we will have to put the motor in use. The fifth important equipment is refrigeration and air conditioning equipments. Refrigeration is the process of removing heat at a low temperature and rejecting it at the higher temperature level. The atoms required for the makeup of complete the refrigeration and air conditioning systems are refrigerating equipments like a compressor, fans, pumps, cooling towers, filters, air handling units and ducting. Depending upon the process, some of the items mentioned may be required and some of the items may not be required every time during the use of refrigeration and air conditioner. Next thing is the lighting system. We know that industries are running most of the time 24/7. So, lighting system and the proper lights arrangement is required at near every equipment or the machine which is the part of the manufacturing processes. So, use of the electronic blast in place of the conventional chokes save energy up to 20% in the lighting arrangement. Use of CFL lamps or LED in place of GLS lamp can save energy up to 70%. So, we will have to remove the simple bulbs or simple tubes and we will have to replace it with the CFL or LEDs. Cleaning of the lamps and the fixtures regularly, illumination levels falls by 20 to 30% due to collection of dust. So, cleaning of the lamps and the bulbs is very much required, because if dust is going to be deposited on it, then the illumination level will fall 20 to 30% and more lights we need to start in that particular case. A simple thing is that if we will replace the use of replace the 40 watt tube light by 36 watt tube light, then it can save the energy up to 8 to 10%. So, there is a very light difference in between the 36 watt and 40 watt tube light, but if we can replace it with the 40 watt tube light with the 36 watt tube light, it can save the good amount of the energy. The use of sodium vapor lamps for area lighting in place of mercury lamp. So, instead of using the mercury lamp, if we will use sodium vapor lamp, then it can also save the energy. This vapor lamp can save electricity up to 40%. The B part is related with the saving or conservation of the thermal energy, and there are some certain tips for thermal energy saving. Number 1, undertake regular energy audits. It means we will have to go for energy audit continuously at the plant to save the thermal energy, and from such kind of the energy audit or during the maintenance, we can find many kind of the problems in the machines or in the process. For example, we will have to take care about the leakage of the oil. If oil leakage is of 1 drop per second, then it can create a loss of 2000 liter per year. So, we know that such a little drops of 1 ml also can create a big waste or big loss in case of the oil which we are using in our industry. Oil is one of the petroleum products, so it is costly one and it is exhaustible source. That's why we will have to take care during the use of oil in the industry. The filter oil we will have to use in every stages, because impurities in the oil can affect the combustion, and if combustion process is going to be affected, it will not produce the proper heat. It will directly affect on the efficiency. We will have to avoid the incomplete combustion which leads to the wastage of fuel, and that's why we will have to apply the zero leak philosophy. We should not allow for any machine to go through any leakage process, and such kind of the leakage should not be there in the process of combustion also. Here some of the equipments which we are going to discuss here are the part of the thermal energy production process. The first equipment which is very much necessary in the thermal energy production is boiler. Boilers are made in a various industrial units to convey the heat for different process application. So we will have to control the excess air by monitoring oxygen level in a flue gas, because if oxygen level is going to be decreased, then also combustion will not be proper one, and if that level is going to be increased, then white fumes may be get produced. That will also leads the losses in the combustion process. We will have to remove the soot deposit when flue gas temperature rises at 40 degree centigrade or beyond it. We will have to improve the boiler efficiency by flue gas losses, radiation losses, incomplete combustion. So we will have to take care during the combustion, and we will have to avoid the heat losses from the boiler. So that's why we will have to use only treated water in the boiler, and we will have to stop the steam leakage and maintain steam pipe insulation properly. The next equipment is diesel generating set. Depending on the type of the industry and magnitude of the connected load, diesel generating sets are employed in a various models. We will have to bring the diesel generating set into working at some places. For example, the standby mode to meet a part or the full requirement of the plant in case of power failures, we need to install the diesel generating set. Sometimes the peak load mode is occur, and to meet that requirement of the peak load, we will have to reduce the maximum demand, and we will have to put the diesel generating set on. We need to take care about the diesel generating set with the help of some of the suggestions. Number one, we will have to maintain the diesel engine regularly. We will have to check all the connections of the diesel engine. We will have to check the fuel and quality of the fuel, and is there any leakage is present or not. So such things will be optimized with the help of the maintenance of the diesel engine. A poorly maintained injection pipe increasing fuel consumption by 4 gram per kilowatt hour. So 4 gram fuel is not a simple thing per kilowatt hour energy production. The blocked filters increasing fuel consumption by 2 grams kilowatt hour, means if your fuel injection pump as well as a filter is not working properly, then 6 gram of the fuel per kilowatt hour we are going to waste. Measure the fuel consumption per kilowatt hour of electricity generated regularly. From that we will come to know that whether whatever fuel we are utilizing, is it helping it to convert the energy in the proper kilowatt hour or not. We will have to take the corrective action in case this shows a rising trend. It means if such kind of the leakage or consumption of the fuel, if that amount is increasing, then we will have to concentrate it, and we will have to take the corrective actions on it. And the C part is by taking the precautions, we can conserve the energy. That is the true thing, but still we can conserve the energy by using the renewable energy sources instead of using non-renewable or exhaustible energy sources. For example, to carry out some of the industrial process, we can use the renewable energy sources which are inexhaustible, like a sun or the wind energy. It will convert the energy found in a sunlight, wind, falling and rising of the water level, sea waves, geothermal heat or the biomass into useful form of heat, and such kind of the heat or electricity we can use directly in our plant. So different examples of the renewable energy are provided over here, which is solar energy, wind energy, hydropower energy, biomass energy or geothermal energy. These precautions which we are going to take in A, it means in a electrical consumption of the energy, then part B by taking care in the conservation in the heat energy, and by using the C means renewable energy, we can conserve the energy at the industry. We will have to take one need, we will have to take one help is there is a need of energy audit, from which it will be clear that whether energy is conserved properly or not. And this energy audit, it means the verification, monitoring and analysis of the use of energy, including submission of technical report containing recommendation for improving energy efficiency with the cost benefit analysis and action plan to reduce energy consumption. So that cost benefit analysis and the action plan will help us to reduce the energy conversion, which will lead towards the energy conservation. Then audit methodology and detail the thing regarding with the audit you have seen in the previous part of this particular chapter. Now we will move towards our next bit, which is nothing but energy conservation at household levels. So energy conservation in a major application is in the domestic use. So we can conserve the energy in the refrigeration. So here we will have to keep the temperature of the refrigeration higher. It should not be very less, because if you want to maintain a very less temperature at the refrigerator, more energy will be consumed. So optimum temperature should be set at the refrigerator. There should not be continuous opening and closing of the refrigerator. We will have to open the refrigerator when it is required only. So such kind of the small tips can conserve the energy in the refrigerator sector. At the same time, we will have to take care that all domestic appliances which we are using should be standard one, and proper label should be provided on it, which will give us the information about the energy use during the use of such refrigerator. Then second, we can conserve the energy while using the microwave oven. So whenever it is required, then and then only such kind of the equipment should be in a use. Energy conservation in the ironing. So instead of using the traditional iron with the coils, we will have to use the automatic ironing system, where we can set the temperature according to the nature of cloth. So we can conserve the energy there only. The energy conservation in the cooking we can go for, because right now we are observing that electrical equipments which we are using for the cooking purpose. So whenever it is necessary, then and then only the electrical cookers, electrical that burners should be used. Energy conservation in a washing machine. Whenever there is we have very less time and urgency, in that case only the washing machine should be utilized. Automatic washing machines are running for 1 hour or 2 hours. So instead of using such kind of the washing machine for long duration, we will have to keep the time for the washing optimum one. Then energy conservation during lighting. Whenever it is necessary, then and then only we will have to put the lights. We should have the proper window system to provide the proper light arrangement as well as the air circulation. We will have to use the we will have to conserve the energy for the cooling purpose also. Means whenever it is required, then and then only we will have to put the air conditioning system. Otherwise, by putting the proper window and the proper passages for the air, we can conserve the energy by providing the cooling effect. Now we will concentrate on the energy conservation at the commercial level. We are using electricity in some of the commercial building like the offices or the corporate offices of the industries, schools, colleges, then marriage halls, etc. So we can conserve the energy at such kind of the commercial level also. So we can do it by making unnecessary lights turned off, especially when conference room, etc., when nobody is present in such hall or it is not in use. Computers, monitors, photocopiers and other business equipment should be set to their energy saving mode. It means if you are not working on the computer, you can switch off the desktop, you can switch off the printer, you can switch off the Xerox machine which is present in the office. The skylight should be used for the warehouses. At the warehouses, there is no need to put multiple amount of the light. Instead of that, we can use the skylight which can be put at the higher heights, so that we can get the light everywhere from such a skylight. We should ensure that offices which have air conditioner have proper windows and all doors are closed when air conditioning is in use, because if doors and windows are open and still air conditioner is on, then there is no use of making air conditioner on. Air will not be get conditioned, the temperature of the atmosphere will not be get decrease. So when we are using the air condition, door and the windows should be properly locked, so there will be less leakage of the conditioned air, and if the air conditioner will reach to its lowered set temperature, then it will automatically get switched off. So such kind of the small tips, small actions, small processes can save the electricity in a large amount at the commercial level. So friends, there are many types of the practices we have discussed as far as conservation of energy at industrial, domestic and commercial levels. So this bit is very much important, and we will have to follow this energy conservation principle whenever it is possible for we people at everywhere, because conservation of the energy is nothing but saving of energy, and saving of energy, it means the production of energy. So that's all for our today's lecture. So if you are having any doubts, please feel free to ask. So all the best for you. Thank you very much for attending the lecture. Have a nice day ahead.